So what I'm doing here now is trying to get the top down to near thickness. It's the wood's been cut at about 5mm, but the top really should be about 3mm. So actually going. It's now got a bit of sound to it, not just like the other side. The moment if we hit that, yeah, and you hear this start to ring now. So I think we're in a good place with that one. Edge. What we also need to do though is make sure we don't glue it to the bench. And glue it together like that. Now this beam I'm clamping it down with on the bottom edge has a curve to it, so it's thinner at the ends. So I'm actually bending this beam so as it puts pressure equal on the middle as well as the ends. Well, this is my main template for the guitar. And now this isn't a complete template. There is another one for the bridge plate which goes in here that interlocks with these two, and there is another brace to go along across there. Also cut the should be plenty. Okay, today I'm cutting the rosette and the centre hole in the guitar. I hope this works because that's getting in there. Right. Okay, that should have. Fits in there, that still fits in there. these I'd need. On the guitar, but there's still some more to do. There's still a few plain lines in here on the top, and some glue showing here. This will be covered by the fretboard when it's done. We glued in the X brace and the tone bars, and in the meantime, because it doesn't show anything new, I've actually glued these fan braces in. Okay, so this is quite a heavy brace compared with the rest of them. Okay, these are the offcuts from the bridge plate. This does a couple of things really. It's a strong hardwood, whereas this is a softwood, so it adds strength where we're thinning this down and cutting the hole. But also, when people are accessing it to adjust the truss rod, it will resist damage from Allen keys and things. Slip. So these are the two pieces for the sides. And there a bit more. You've seen me bend that one. I'll take the camera off for now. So I bent the other side as well, and they're both now in the clamp, in the mould, and clamped in. You can see we've got the top back out. Today what we're going to do is what's generally not called voicing the top. Transfer those lines down the side because I'm going to lose them very quickly. That one there, taking that bigger cut. On the video to give you a sound of this, but I'm not finding when I play it back it doesn't come out very clear on the because of the microphone. We'll try again now. There we go. Really interesting in how it sustains. What I need to do is trim these so they match. A bit lower, tricky to get it all squared up. What I need to cut in. More nerve. So with a bit of clamping and forcing and manipulating, we've actually got it to fit. I had to take about 1 mil off that one and about half a mil off that one and 1 mil off that one. I want to be We're gonna go. See, that's joined there. There's a bit of glue there, but that'll clean up nicely. Okay. Okay. You. And there you see it's back in its mould, relatively close fitting, and it's pretty much going to stay in this now to keep its shape until we've assembled it all into the body. We're now going to start putting the what's called, sometimes referred to kerfing, but probably more correctly called the lining that reinforces the edge of the guitar. Any other things I don't want to. Okay. So if you can see there, we've got straps across here, and what they'll do is, because the grain's going in the opposite direction, it'll just add strength so that it will resist splitting if the guitar gets hit on the edge. Okay, we're now starting to look at making the back. They've got warp in opposite directions. Let's start doing this. Jumping down on both sides. Okay, I've sanded out the plane marks pretty much, and it's not far off size, I don't think now. Sounds. Because I'm going to cut this now on the oh dear, which is the inside, which is the out? Yeah, that's going to be the inside. So now what I want to do is mark out the braces and the bottom. Right, they need the radius on them. Okay. Line that up on there, on the marks there, and then I just need a line that way. And just see, we should have a nice curve on it. See that with the light behind. It's up to you. What I like, because we're going to be chiseling and things out here, what I don't want to do is mark the back, so I'm just going to put some tape down to protect. The way I'm going to do this is we're going to put a 45 degree and then 2 cuts either side of that, which should bring it to the arch. A gauge of some sort. Take that down a bit. So it's going to be cut down now. I want it to go onto the body, so what I want to do is actually remove some of the kerfing here. Because it shows me the line of the body and where the brace is. Okay, now we're going to try and fit the back to it. Too much. Now, let's put down on top. As ever, we'll leave that set. As you can see, we've got this large lip on that's going to be removed next. So that's it, basically. We've finished that now. Okay, now I'm going to start working on the sides of the guitar to get them, any rough bits, any unevenness out of it. we're going to cut the binding channel. Big thing. I'll carry on next with the neck because the fact it's not cosmetically perfect is what I always expected with this first one, but it's very much a learning exercise, so I'll carry on with that. The first thing we're going to do is the headstock angle. It's like that. It's going to be glued to get across that surface. Two. Really want to put a bit more. That's better. So from the nut to the body joint is 352, because from the end of the body to the centre of the it helps it stay in one place. Put another one in there between if I can get them. It's obviously wider, thicker. That's bigger than it needs to be. That's bigger than it needs to be. Route the truss rod and the carbon reinforcing rods. Right, now if I then clamp that. These are going to be epoxied in. I don't think that needs gluing in. I've been trying to watch what other people are doing. Okay, that's one. it should just stick to the okay, I think that's it for today. Well, that'll so I think that's it on the neck for the time being. Here we've got the fretboard. We need to get it to the right thickness before we start cutting fret slots in it. So we're going to fasten this to the template. On there. One. So it's out of here. We're putting a 16-inch radius on this. This is a gauge, a 16-inch gauge. You see the light underneath, so it's not a big radius. Okay. Onto there. That should help. Yeah. I've not got the plain down flat here. I'm a slight angle on it just to just take some off the edge there. The right radius. This might be too hot a day to do this, but here goes. Okay, I think we're about there. Yeah. That takes all the coarse sanding out of here. Right. It's got a lot thinner than it was, and because of the slots, it's a lot more flexible and delicate than it was. So I'm having to be careful with it when it was glued down and things like that. And like you can see there, but what I've done is drawn the taper on the neck here. So we're going to cut down to that, and then the shape of the headstock. But also, it's too thick here, so it's thicker than it needs to be here, and thicker here than it needs to be. The machines won't do it very well. The thickness I'm going to have to think about because I'm losing all my lines now. Exhausting. You see my lines, I've still got quite a bit to take off there. It's a little tight. See, it fits now. You see there's a gap here. It's similar there. It's too big there. So there's some more fitting to do. It's got a little bit of twist in there, which I might try and fix now. And some of this is to get the alignment in various directions. So that'll be the next job, will be aligning all this. Stick that on there like that. Put that in there. I should be able to go through those holes. On there now, you see there and there from the drill going through. Really tricky to line up. I'm trying to cut this as close so the 10mm will be on line with this piece of wood, this edge here, so that it gives it the most wood to hang on to. These now go into there. And there. Go into that hole. It's a bit too, it's held back a bit by that. But let's just see if we can get. So that's the neck bolted on now. It's a little high there, and this is a problem. When I routed the slot out, it was, it's still a little like there. I've got a bit of movement in where I can tighten them down, but I do need to work on that slot a bit more to get it a bit more square. Into the the centre line of the guitar, as it is at the moment, it's actually spot on. But it does seem to be leaning forward a bit, so that's something we have to fix. What do we do? Probably about there. Needs to be tapered off a little bit more, so some more to come off that yet. What we do is sand this. We want to keep that as it is. So what we're going to do is put that under there, like that. Keep the pressure on that and go. Tear out there, and this will gradually get it this should be easier now for me to sand this down. So back to what we were doing. But it's now, the line on here is lining up with the joints on the guitar, which is what I'm after. I put that hole there to align up, and I don't know if you can see with the light, you can just about see the line goes through. A bit thin there, damn. So easy to make a disastrous mistake. Just putting a slight amount of pressure on at the moment, make sure it doesn't. Okay, it's oversized at the moment, and here on the top of here, and again this is oversized. We've got to do a bit of prep on this first. Okay. I think that's about it for this. It's starting to take shape. I've left a little bit on the edges there. I'm thinking. Here we have my drawings for the neck detail. That goes in there as a nice tight fit. If you can see that now. I've never kind of set up the frets on a refretted guitar or anything like that before, so this is all more new stuff for me. I've kind of just roughed it out so far. Just want to show you that. You can see how it's coming down to shape. That's quite a lot lighter. We've got some shape to it. got some shape that way to it. And then we're just gonna, we can leave that set now. I want it fully set, and then we'll sand that. The right way up. More back there, and a bit more sanding, but a fair amount of glue on this. I've taken this out of the clamps now. I've got to do a bit of removal of the excess on here, but it's glued on there. Plane has a lot more control. We've still got a little lip around here that I've got to get rid of, and some glue. Right, and that's probably it for that. We're going to work around the sides now. And this is going to take quite a lot of coats. Should be the right size for that one. Okay, that's all the frets in now. I'm going to let that glue dry for a while. It's not bad, but there are some places there, and I think there's somewhere down here. Real crown one. But that's it. It's the frets are in now. this. So 75, 78. 8. So the next thing will be to countersink them and then glue it onto the body. You can see there now, that bottom one, this is curved slightly, and so I was hitting the bottom limit of travel on the bottom two there. They're not too bad. Strings somewhere in my guitar maintenance kit, so I'll go and get that in a bit. The next job, apart from pulling them back out, is to put the saddle slot in there. We're kind of doing the final assembly now of it all. Run through all the holes with a drill just to clean them out. Okay. Unfortunately, my audio is what's on the camera, so nothing special, but